Welcome to another edition of Talk Your Exposure. This is season 1, episode 12. I'm alongside my co-host Devontae Campbell. What's going on with you, man?
Man, as I say every time, it's good to be here. I'm getting used to it.
And as I say every single time, you're a YouTube sensation. You'll be ready just now, man. You'll be ready just now.
We'll
We
see.
have a very special guest with us in the building today. Former Division I athlete. Played with Devontae at University of Albany. He thinks he's a better shooter than me. Reece Brooks, what's going on, man?
Nothing much, man. Just happy to be here.
Hey, thank you for coming on the show. We appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me.
This time, Reece, just like we start every show, we got to hit you with some quick hitters, get the brain flowing a little bit. I kind of feel like I know all the answers to these questions, but I'm going to give you about 6 seconds to answer each off the top of your head. Quick logic, all right?
All right.
First one, Jason Tatum, Paul George.
Jason Tatum.
I actually want to hear why.
He's tougher. I feel like he's more versatile. Paul George, you know what you're gonna get. He got the finesse game, he got the 3-pointer, but like we're talking like back to the basket. Jason Tatum got better ball handling, in my opinion, better face-up game. I think he could do more like around on the floor.
Okay. Let's go Darius Garland, Colin Sexton.
I'm gonna go with Colin Sexton.
No, I'm gonna go with Colin Sexton too. At least for now. Now. Let me give you another one that I gave last week. Fred VanVleet, Kyle Lowry.
VanVleet. That's my guy.
VanVleet, wow.
That's my guy.
It's funny that you actually say that because there was a part of the segment that we're going to talk about. I was going to compare to VanVleet.
Oh wow, yeah, that's my boy. Smooth operator.
Last one, Kawhi, Luka.
Kawhi.
No, that's non-negotiable.
Not even a question.
All right, we'll get back to more later. Oh, sorry. Last one. You have a shoe deal between Under Armour, Puma. Who are you picking?
A shoe deal?
Shoe deal.
Under Armour.
Under Armour, why?
I just feel like their shoes are, like from my experience, it's more responsive. I think they look better.
Going that route. Okay, can't blame me for being safe. All right, good.
Under Armour, give this guy a shoe deal. What's up?
Sign me.
I want to know from the jump, man. What kept you motivated with basketball? What got you into basketball?
Got me into basketball with my dad. I think I picked the ball up when I was like maybe 2 or 3. Been playing ever since. He played back in the day. Didn't have obviously the avenues that we had, but I think that was like where it started for me.
Mm-hmm. So, talk to us a little bit about the adversity of they typically say that being small is a disadvantage. In my opinion, I don't think the same way. I think it's actually a kind of crap of bullshit, to be honest with you. That's my opinion. I don't really think size necessarily always matters in every situation. I mean, certain situations it does. I mean, when you have Fred VanVleet and Kyle Lowry going against Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, different situation. But talk to us a little bit about the adversity that you've always had to face and hearing that.
It was I've heard everything that there is to hear, honestly. You can't make it further than high school ball. It's going to be tough when you get to high school. College is going to be tough. I went the JUCO route, so they told me, it's gritty down there. Small guys don't survive. But, I found a way to get through it. I found a way to continue to push and just focus on what I know I worked hard for. I put the time in to be skilled enough to play with the top level guys. So I feel like when I'm on the court, I don't feel like there's anybody better than me when I get out there, regardless of whether you're 6'7", 6'5". It doesn't matter to me because at the end of the day, we both got to hoop. You got to guard me the same way I got to guard you. So, I just go out there and try and play with a chip on my shoulder every day.
For sure. You touched up a little bit on you went up and trained and worked with some of the best guys. Can you name some of those guys that you worked up with?
Man, the list is long. Corey Joseph, Tristan Thompson, Mike Kabongo, Dwayne Notice. Shout out my boy Dwayne Notice.
Episode 9.
Obviously, got the chance to go to school with and work out with Devontae regularly.
Nice.
A whole bunch of NBA guys I've played with, a lot of vets, RJ Barrett, and his dad as well. Yeah, the list is pretty long. So I've been able to get a little bit of knowledge and insight from some pretty good players and try and add that to my game.
You mentioned that you worked out with Corey Joseph, who is a NBA champion. What was some insight that you learned from him?
Just focus on what you believe in. He came to my school, I think 2014, my prep school, and got a chance to sit down with him and Kawhi. And just that was right. I'm pretty sure that was right after the championship, and just gave us knowledge on what it's like to be underdogs and just to focus on what you can control and not get too wrapped up in all the extra stuff. But Corey was really like adamant about just playing with a chip on the shoulder, playing with that grit, and trying to just hustle through every play and just playing hard every possession, because at the end of the day, that's what helps you win games. That's what helps you get better.
For sure. I want to touch up a little bit on team camaraderie. I want to get your input on that. DeBarde posted a video the other day for one of y'all friends' birthday, and I feel like that video kind of reminded me a little bit of the Miami Heat with the Harlem Shake. Can you talk to us a little bit about just generally the general how important it is to have good team camaraderie and how important it is to have to build good team chemistry?
It's probably the most important thing on the basketball court, because basketball is a team sport. You can't play by yourself. But I mean that bond that we had as a team was incredible. From the guys that started to the guys that didn't play, it didn't matter. We were all, we treated each other like brothers, and I think that helps as far as making sure that we hold each other accountable and play with that sense of urgency when we're on the court together, regardless of whether again, you're playing 30 minutes or you're not playing at all. But we all supported each other. And I think that was important, and that came from us having a good chemistry off the court. So I think that's genuinely important. When you have that kind of bond with guys and that kind of feel, it's better because there's no hard feelings towards anything that happens. Everybody just wants to support each other. And ultimately, that helps everybody's confidence. That helps everybody, when they get that big moment, if they do, to know that they got teammates that are going to support them through it.
For sure. I mean, for me personally, from what I was playing back in the day, I was kind of like a little Steve Nash, just high-fiving everybody all the time. I was annoying as hell. I'm not going to lie. I was definitely that annoying guy that would give high fives. And I listened to a podcast yesterday. It's called All the Smoke. They had Rajon Rondo on it. And Rajon Rondo apparently had a stat. There was a stat apparently on who gave the most hand touches in a game, from teammates and stuff. Apparently Steve Nash beat him by 10 hand touches or something. I didn't even know that was a stat. But that stat in general, though, to know that, being a point guard and stuff, Steve Nash, Rajon Rondo, yourself included, talk to us about the importance of understanding your players and getting them on the same level as you, and also earning, I wouldn't say necessarily earning their respect, but respect each other enough on an athletic platform.
One thing I've learned over the years is that the respect that you get from your teammates starts with how you're able to communicate with them and how they feel you treat them. And I think that's probably why those two guys, as you mentioned, they're in my opinion, two of the greatest point guards ever. They knew how to get their teammates involved mentally before the ball was even on the floor. So I think that those things as a point guard are very important, just to make guys feel comfortable with you. And, when you have that kind of camaraderie with your players, with your teammates, it's easier to play in sync. Your big man is not going to worry about feeling unappreciated on the floor. So, he'll go that extra mile to grab that rebound or dive for that loose ball. Or your shooter is going to focus more when he's in that spot and he knows that, you're going to get him the ball when he needs it and where he needs it for him to be successful. I think that stuff is important, and it all starts with the point guard, just getting to know his teammates, getting to understand their hot spots, what they like, and, how to assist them in being better.
Could have said it any better myself, man. Could have said it any better myself. Let's transition now to your high school career. Talk to us a little bit from grade 9 to grade 12. Give us all the insight, all the information, everything we got to know, man.
Man, grade 9 to grade 12. So I originally started at Brampton Centennial.
B-Town?
You know the vibes. From 9th grade till 10th or 11th.
Okay.
And then I ended up going to play prep in Arizona.
Okay.
But
what was the school called?
Yeah, it was called I went to Phase 1 Academy first, then transferred over to Elite 1 Academy.
Okay.
But playing here in Canada was, man, I don't think I've had that much fun playing basketball, because every game's a road game, even when you're at home, because everybody's so close. They're bringing their fans, and their fans are bringing friends, and it was just hostile environments, and I love that type of stuff. So it's just a little bit extra motivation when you get on the floor. But 9th grade, Devontae could probably tell you about this.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead. I'm waiting for it. Go ahead.
Man, the big thing with us, like at that time in high school, was having good games so we can get posted on Hooptown.
Yep.
Hooptown GTA, yeah.
Hooptown GTA was the big thing. Like that was like social media before social media.
The 25-point club. Everybody wanted to be on that.
Yeah. But
sure.
that year, my 9th grade year, man, I was in that every single game. Luckily, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just had a good year. My teammates were good to me that year, so it was a whole lot of fun. But we played Dev in high school. And when I tell you, they were smoking us by like 25.
I know what's about to happen. I know it's about to come.
Man,
I'm gonna let him
us by like 25. I don't know what happened with his team, but somebody ended up like getting mad, and like they started losing it. Like as we were, and so we started to come back, and end of the game, and I think we were tied. It was tie game with like 10 seconds left or something like that, and I had the ball up top, and I went on the ISO. At that time, I was feeling like Gilbert Arenas.
Okay.
I came down, and then I ended up getting fouled and went to the line, and we ended up coming back from 25 in the second half and winning. And bro, the only thing that I remember was after everybody like swarmed me after hitting 2 free throws was Dev's face when we were shaking hands. Bro, I'm telling you, that day was, but like, again, it was all in good fun, you know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, that's still my boy. It always will be. But we got one up on him. I didn't get to see him the rest of my high school career. So
yeah. And what people got to understand is that, back in the day, like what AAU was now was OBA back in the day for us. So me and Reece, as far as OBA, are seeing each other 4 times a year, each tournament, right? Regardless if when he played on Brampton and Yates, and I'm sure you'll touch on that later on. So like, this is the first time in high school. These are my local guys. These are his local guys. Now he's the LeBron of his team. I'm the LeBron of mine. So when you lose it like that, in that manner, it's always a stinger. And obviously, we had some altercations after the game with my team. Fights, water bottles thrown. So it was one of those. One of those type of. I'll never forget that game. So that's a classic. That's a classic, man.
It's like, but that's the thing though. We were so, like, I feel like now it's like kids are so focused on the cameras and stuff, but we were genuinely like, man, that's my boy. I'm trying to beat him.
Yeah.
Like I'm not trying to come out of here and take an L, and then now he can go and tell all the people that we know that he beat me. You know what I
Mhm.
We
mean?
all had the same friends at the time. So
Yeah, so like, you know, that I feel like that was more important than being seen. We were just focused on, you know, just getting after each other, and like those battles to me are what is important in basketball. You know, the highlights and all that stuff is cool, but those memories, I'm not gonna forget those, whether they're
Mhm.
on camera or not. You know, like whenever I see Dev, we can talk about stuff like this. It's like, yeah, you remember back in high school when we played each other, and you know, those battles are things to remember.
So when you left Canada to go to the States in grade 11, talk to us about the transition from there and what your expectations were, and as well, what's the prep life like in the States compared to regular high school basketball here in Canada?
Um, to cover your first question, I mean, the transition was for me the first couple months probably the toughest thing I've ever done in my life. Simply because I was 16, first time being away from home, like for that period of time, and like, you know, you got to adapt to a whole different culture.
Mhm.
So like, I think that people don't understand. It's kind of hit or miss, you know, depending on where you come from. But you know, Dev can probably tell you, coming from a household where we eat, you know, great food every night, and you know your mom is cooking you West Indian and Caribbean foods. It's like when you go there and you're eating burgers and fries every day or pasta. It's like it's kind of a culture shock for you. But
Mhm.
um, as far as the basketball, I think that I struggled the first couple months just because of that. Like mentally, I was just out of it. I didn't know how to, you know, kind of handle that. But I turned it around after a while, and I realized that, you know, it's ultimately just a stepping stone to where I want to go. So I, you know, just took me a little while, but you know, I figured it out and got to get into a groove, and from then it was just, you know, it kept it rolling. But that transition, you know, if you're not prepared for it, if you don't mentally prepare yourself for it, it can creep up on you and catch you at the wrong time. But I'm glad that I caught it early. Um, and as far as the difference um, between that and high school basketball here, it's a job. Once you reach that level, it's a job. Here, you know, you got distractions. There's things that can keep you, you know, level headed to where you can kind of forget about basketball and things that happen. But over there, it's like, man, you go to the gym, you go to practice, you go to the weight room, you go to conditioning, and then you come home and you see the same people every single day. Nothing changes. You know what I mean? And those same people that you see are the same. It might be the same guy that dunked on you in practice, and you got to see him for the rest of the day, and then see him again tomorrow. You know, so I think that it's different in the sense that you don't have anything else. So like, you know, a bad day when you're at prep school is different than a bad day over here, because a bad day over here, I'm just gonna go home to my family, and you know, we might play board games or do something, and I forget about it. Or I got a girlfriend over here that I can talk to. But over there, it's like you're in a house full of your teammates and your coaches, and you know, just times where your coach might tell you or have talks with you about things that happened that you didn't like or that he didn't like, and
Mhm.
you got to deal with it. You know, you got to find your own ways to deal with it. So I think that's the biggest difference. It's really a job. You wake up, it's from the time you wake up, it's basketball, school, and basketball. So
I
I
think I
think that
think
that's
I,
the
I
big
think I
difference.
think it's kind of a blessing in disguise at the same time, though. You know what I mean? Like a
Of course.
blessing in disguise, because obviously, you know, you get to wake up every morning and, you know, go play basketball. You 6 a.m., 5 a.m., whatever it is, the gym's always open over there. But at the same time, because of that, like you said, it's a job, and the expectation on a mental aspect. It's like, if I don't perform today, am I going home tomorrow?
Yeah, it's and trust me, like I've seen dozens of guys get sent home, and
Mhm.
it couldn't have been over. It could have been over just an attitude in practice. But everybody goes through those things to where, yeah, I don't want to play today, or I don't feel good. But you, like, when you're there, you have no choice. It's
Yeah.
not. It's not like that. You know, you gotta do it, or else you're going home. So I think that was a big difference, but that's also probably the best thing that ever happened to me because it made me realize what it meant to actually be engaged and bring it every single day, no matter how you're feeling. You know what I mean? Those are the things that help shape you mentally when you're playing. Because basketball, to me, like you got the skill of the game, but most of it is mental. It's a lot of thinking. You got to be able to process stuff quickly. You got to be able to process your emotions and not let them get you too high or too low, and also perform. So I mean, those things were a challenge, but once you get it and you understand the means of it, then it becomes easy.
Talk to us about your first game on prep. Talk to us. Obviously, you said one of your first games, one of your more memorial games was, or memorable games, sorry, was against Devontae when you were in high school back in grade 9. Grade 11, grade 12, if there is a fifth year. Talk to us about your first game there and your most memorable game.
My first game. Whew. I'm pretty sure my first game was against Westwind Prep.
I was supposed to go there with Bobby
Yeah.
Bobby Starkman.
There was a good school at the time.
Yeah, at the time they were great.
Yeah. Even Kiwi Gardner went there, big YouTube sensation. So that was my first game. It was again a challenge mentally to just adapt to the different style of play now. Because over here, the game was a little bit more finesse. There's a little less physicality, but over there, it's basically football as basketball. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially in high school. When you get to college, it's like they're more like they got a little bit more restriction when it comes to defending and stuff. But over there, it's a doghouse. If you're not prepared to get hit, then you probably shouldn't play. So that first game, it was good. I played really well that game too. I remember we ended up losing, but I mean that getting that first wind, getting your legs under you after the first game, I think that prepared me for the rest of my time down there. But that that game, I can tell you, I played well. So I was happy with myself and just was trying to focus on getting to the next one and attacking that one the same way and being aggressive, and I think that it worked out pretty well.
Who was your toughest check in high school?
Wow. Toughest check in high school.
Question.
Man, if we're saying here or in prep?
Generally.
AAU included?
AAU included.
Peyton Pritchard.
Ooh.
Toughest check I've ever had. And let me tell you.
That little boy.
He tough.
I was not expecting it at all. Peyton Pritchard in AAU in Georgia. Very first time playing him was, I would say it's the toughest check because it was so surprising. Like I didn't expect it. If you just look at him, he don't look like a basketball player. He don't look
even
like
now. He don't look like a basketball player.
You know what I mean? Like he don't look like he was as good as he was.
Yeah.
So like when I stepped on the court, I kind of stepped in there with that like he's not about to do nothing. You feel me? Like it's whatever. Like but he came out firing. When I tell you, I've played a lot of good players, but that was 100% the toughest check simply because not that I can't guard him or he's just busting my ass. His IQ was crazy. So like he knew when and how to play at a pace that in high school you're not really used to. Right. You know what I'm saying? So like I'd probably say that was my toughest check simply because he just caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting him to be that good.
So doing what he's doing now, are you like, yeah, I don't feel so bad anymore? Or was it one of those that's like, okay, you proved me wrong?
A little bit of both, honestly. Like after the game, it was like, nah, there's no way that just happened. You know what I mean? Like I'm pretty sure he had like 22 but it was like it was a tough 22. But again, you just weren't expecting him to make some of the shots that he was making. I'm talking like hand in the face. I'm in his jersey, and he's hitting some crazy step backs. He's doing everything.
Sound
And I'm
like
like,
him.
Mhm.
you know what I mean? And I'm sitting there like, bro, I don't know what else to do. Like, I don't at this point. There's those games that what else is there to do?
Mhm.
I'm as close as possible. You know what I mean? But yo, he was finding a way to get him off, and he was scoring him. So when I see him now, I'm not as surprised. Sometimes I still be having like he got that in his bag, but I got to tell you, he's cold. He's
Yeah.
cold. If I had a chance to play him again, it'd be a different story. But you know, he's cold. I rock with his game. I rock with his game for sure.
Fair enough. Fair enough. What I gotta ask you then, if it's gonna be different, what would you do differently this time to contain him under 22, or maybe he'll score 30? I don't know.
Oh, nah,
I'll fuck with you. I'll fuck
nah,
with you.
not 30, not 30. Now, if I was gonna play it differently, I'd probably play it the same, but I'd play it with a little bit more confidence. You know what I mean? Like, but with the confidence that I'm expecting him to be good. You know, I stepped into it too cocky. I was just, yeah, it's whatever. He's not gonna do nothing to me. But now I know I can attack it like, you know, he's that good. And I feel like that would make the difference. Yeah, but recruitment, it was a process coming out of high school. Um, you know, I think I got my first offer 11th grade from Detroit,
Mhm.
and man, I felt like gold. You know what I mean? I'm sitting here like, damn, I got my first offer. Like, I'm I want to commit now, you know, but not understanding, you know, all the things that go into it.
Mhm.
Out of high school, there was a whole lot of schools: UMass, Xavier, Niagara. Um, damn, I had an interest from Arizona State, um, and then my 12th grade year, Oregon gave me an interest, and I was like, you know, I'm trying to get that offer from there. You know what I mean? Like that was the one that had me like, I want to like, you know, I want to push to get that. But there was a whole bunch of schools. New Mexico State. I was actually committed to go to New Mexico State originally, but I didn't qualify because you know I didn't take care of schoolwork. I didn't really care about school. You know, that's the problem. People don't tell you those things. You know what I mean? While you're in school, they're not telling you, yo, you got to focus on school just as much as basketball. You know, they're just
Mhm.
telling you work out, work out, work out. So like by the time I got all my grades and stuff, like right, it was too late. I didn't qualify. But New Mexico State was one of them that again was at the top of the list that I wanted to go to. But then that didn't work out. So then I ended up committing to go to JUCO in Texas. The school's called Clarendon College.
Mhm.
And then you know I had a pretty good 2 years there. You know,
I don't know if pretty good is the word.
I was about to
I think
say,
it's a little bit more
I
than
don't,
that.
right? I was about to say the same thing, but
He's being humble. He's being
I was about to
humble,
say
ladies
he
and
must
gentlemen.
be because shit. We're like I said, we're gonna get to that in a second. We're definitely gonna get into to talk about your JUCO career. One thing I want to ask you though, you know, you touched up this a little bit. You said, you know, you didn't really know, you didn't have anybody that really recommended you and advised you properly to, to go Division 1 or anything along those natures of what you needed. Did you have anybody that was able to what's what I'm looking for? Mentors when you were younger?
um,
If so, who?
nah, my dad was the only person. Bro, I'm like it sounds like a lie, but everything that happened with me in basketball is just literally me and my dad. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like nobody really took the time to, you know, tell me, hey kid, come here, let me show you the ins and out of the NCAA, or show you what you need to do as far as like qualifying credits and stuff like that. Nobody ever, you know. So me and my dad were literally just winging it. But as far as like being a mentor on the court, that was it. He was the one, all the lessons, all the things to focus on. What we used to do is just sit at home and watch YouTube videos and of guys that are good. So Steph Curry at the time, Kyrie at the time. You know what I mean? A big influence. I'd probably speak for a lot of small people. Akil Carr was like a high school hero. You know what I mean? Like 5'6", same build as me. I'm a little bit taller than him by like an inch or two, but same build as me. It was like, bro, that's the standard. That's what I wanted to be. So, we used to just watch a lot of highlights of him, a lot of guys in the league, and just try and pick things from each of them and try and add it to my game to, ultimately like help me get better. That's really how we did it.
For sure. So you touched up on this. You went to Clarendon. Am I saying it right?
Clarendon, yeah.
Clarendon. Okay, you go to Clarendon. You're a humble motherfucker. I'm gonna tell you that much. You're definitely a humble motherfucker. I'm gonna say that respectfully. All right. Listen, for people that don't know this guy, he got 40 balls, 30 balls, average damn near 20. You know what I'm saying? You average more than 20 in your last year there. Talk to us about the expectations going into that. Talk to us about just the entire process, to go there, choose that one instead of other schools. And on top of that, obviously, we're going to touch up on your seasons, but I want you to tell us about the adversity that you had to face while you were there, being the scorer that you were, aka Fred VanVleet.
Sure. Well, to start, I picked the school because out of all the JUCOs, that coach was genuine. Like, he told me, bro, I'm not going to give you shit. You're going to come down here and you're going to work your ass off for everything that you want. You know what I mean? And I think that that's like probably the best thing a basketball player can hear. Some of them don't like hearing it, but it's the best thing that you can hear because you know where you're going into it with. You know what I mean? Like you really gotta get everything that you want by yourself. Nobody even hand you anything. So I think the fact that he kept it so real with me was what made me want to go to the school. I didn't go on a visit. I didn't do any of that. He talked to me on the phone, I think twice, and then I told him, bro, just send me the paperwork. I want to sign. You know what I mean? So yeah, that was I think that coach Isaac Amity, I'll never forget him because if you want to talk about Bobby Knight, he might be worse. That man, yeah, he was OD. He scream and I'll put it into perspective for you. 26 people is how many players we started with at the beginning of the year. My first year there. By the end of the season, we had 8.
You said 26 people?
26 people is how many people he brought to school that year.
God damn.
And we finished the season with 8 people.
8, huh?
Damn.
18 guys sent home, like, didn't care. And he didn't care. Half of them, I'm telling you, if he kept half of them, we would have won every single game that we played. I'm talking some of the best players I've ever personally played with kicked off the team. He just didn't care. If you didn't do things the way he wanted to, if you didn't give him the respect that he wanted, it was over for you. So, like, that just showed me again that, bro, this is a coach that he's going to hold me accountable. You know what I mean? And I got to make sure that I'm on my P's and Q's every single day. I can't come into practice and feel like, oh, yeah, I had 20 last night. I'm going to just chill out and take it easy. Nah, it wasn't like that. He's making me run suicides. He's making me run 17s, all types of stuff just because, like, if you do things wrong and you got an attitude, get on the line. So I think that discipline, that militant coaching style that he had kind of helped me stay focused, every day. But yeah, that was probably the biggest blessing because nothing else bothered me. Like you could have tackled me in the air, you could have said something to me during a game, I wouldn't have cared because But I got to worry about my coach. My coach, I'm more worried about him than I am any outside, presence. It didn't matter to me, So I think that it helped me tune everything out. But as far as adversity in JUCO, whoa, I mean, playing for a coach that you never know, he might fly off the handle one day just because. And there's days, and if I ever could call my teammates on this right now and let them tell you that we ran for 2 hours straight. Some coaches say that they're gonna do it, and some coaches make you do it. And he was one of those, like he made you do it. There's times where we ran till guys are throwing up, the guys are walking out the gym, telling like going home on their own, not being forced to leave, but saying, I don't want to do this anymore. This is too much. You know what I mean? And like, funny story, I'll give you the backstory is we played Lamar Community College. And he was mad at practice that day for, I don't remember why, but he said in the pregame speech, however, if they score over 70 points in this game, however many points they score above 70, you're going to have a 17 for every single one, every single point. They scored 81 in the game. And and I promise you, like, yo, and this is like word to everyone. We ran every single one of those points, every single 17 that he promised that we were going to run. We ran every single one of them.
Fuck.
So like, you know what I mean? But you expect coaches like after like maybe 4 or 5, they're like, all right, you had enough. Nah, he made us run every single one, and then like he stayed in the gym until we did it.
That makes me feel better as a coach, man. Because when I make my guys run, they're like, "Oh, coach, I'm tired. I'm dead. I'm dead." I'm like, "Yeah, okay, fine. I'll take one off if you guys." Well, that makes me feel better now. Thank you. Appreciate that.
They don't know real running.
They don't know. Kids these days don't know nothing.
Nothing about real running. Like Dev can tell you because Dev went JUCO. I'm not saying Dev's JUCO was as bad as mine or mine was worse than his, but he knows that those JUCO coaches don't play when it comes to that type of stuff. So you're gonna actually do the running and you're gonna learn from what you did, or else you're gonna be back on the line doing it again.
Luckily, from my experience, I went to Polk State, so that was a JUCO as well. I went JUCO too, and then I went to Jamestown. When I was at Polk, though, the coaches were a lot older, so they didn't really make us run as much. But damn, I would not want to be at your school. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, it was tough, but the adversity from dealing with the coach, and then the adversity as a small guy in JUCO. Again, the physicality is one thing that like people take lightly, but man, JUCO, you countless amount of games I almost got into fights, and it's like they just don't care. You know what I mean? So it's like you got to play through it, or else you got to sit down, and somebody else is going to come in the game that's going to play through it and not complain. So I think that those two things, like just the coaching and the way that the game was played at that level was probably the two biggest pieces of adversity that I dealt with.
For sure. The one thing that I'm going to ask you too, obviously, like we mentioned earlier, you were a damn high scorer, but unfortunately, the record didn't always show for it. How did you get up every day saying, like, being encouraged and staying focused? Because we hear about it a lot of times from even NBA guys, college guys, some of our friends in general. They say, "Yo, bro, I was in high school, this or that. I was leading score, leading this. I was having 40. We still lost by 20. We still lost by 30. We still lost by 15." Talk to us a little bit about the adversity on that side, and also how to stay focused.
Probably my toughest year of basketball, I'd say. My first year. I don't even remember our record, but we were terrible. We lost, I think, almost every conference game. I think we were like 2-14 in conference. And mind you, I personally think that my conference that I played in is the best conference in junior college. A lot of other people have like different opinions, but
where was it again? Texas?
In Texas, yeah.
Okay.
So we played the Whackjack, and man, if you look in the history books, a school from my conference is always ranked in the top 5, the winning national championships, it's ridiculous. Like my first year, I think like 4 teams were ranked in the top like 10 or 15. You know what I mean? So in the countries. So, those are the teams that you're going against every other night.
Mm-hmm.
So like that year was tough because you just feel like you're doing so much, and like at first it bothered me mentally, but then I started to realize, I can't do more than what I can control. You know what I mean? Whatever else is happening, I got to just focus on what I can do and just give them 100% every night and trying to get as much done as I can every night. So, I mean, some days it was worse than others, but I think that just keeping my mind focused on where I wanted to go from junior college was what kept me, motivated to just fight through each day. I think a big problem is that people tend to focus on like a timeline instead of focusing on the now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You got they're focusing on, oh man, like I can't believe I got 122 more practices to go until the end of the year. No, I'm focused on, I got 2 hours today. What am I going to do to be better in that 2 hours? Whatever's left after that, that's for the rest of the day. But I'm not worried about 2 weeks from now. I'm not worried about 6 weeks from now. I'm not worried about the week before. What I'm doing today is what's important. And I think that mindset helped me stay focused on and stay on task to be as productive as possible.
And that's the biggest thing too, is a lot of people of today don't understand the importance of teamwork and the importance of, being a team, and also understanding the craft, that there's a bigger picture down the line. You know what I mean? And that kind of brings me to well, we're going to touch up on your university career in a little bit, but I want to know, what did JUCO teach you as a man? Not even as an athlete anymore. Take away the basketball standpoint, because for me, when I went JUCO, I'm not gonna lie to you. When I came back home, it was completely different for me. My whole mindset changed, because that was the roughest 2 years of my entire life. Being away from home for a long period of time. Luckily for you, you were already gone from being home for a while, so you were used to that point. But being away from home, not being in my bed, what I'm saying, not being in the standpoint at that point, and seeing new people come in every single year, it was rough. It was rough. Talk to us about what you learned, and how you what you learned and how you became and matured as a man.
I think the biggest thing was that I had to face every single problem by myself. I think that whether it was being sick or, my coaches being an asshole today, there was nobody that you could, like, you can't run to anyone. You know what I mean? You gotta accept it for what it is and try and move forward and better yourself. So I think that helped me mature in the sense of like being more patient with stuff, being less irritable. Don't be bothered by too much. You know what I mean? Like, I just focused on what I could do, and that, as a man, I feel like it was good for me. And those are the things that I try and, sometimes we are gonna end up reverting back to old ways at some point, but just making sure that I'm focusing on what I can control. I think that was probably the biggest lesson, and that nobody can help you. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, yeah, you're going to have people around you at a young age, but once you start, growing up, you actually got to do everything for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, there's going to be a point where you're not going to be able to call your mom and your dad and ask them to do something for you. So, I think that it kind of sped up the process for me to just understand, I got to be self-sufficient. I got to depend on myself, and whatever I'm going to get is because I'm putting in the footwork for it.
That's what's up. University of Albany, a lot of fun right now. We're going to talk about a lot of fun. First of all, how'd you get there? Why Albany? Why, did Devontae help recruit you? Was Devontae a big factor in that? If so, touch up on that. If not, touch up on why Albany.
Okay, so to start, they were one of the only schools that came to my JUCO all the way in the middle of nowhere, Texas, to come and watch me work out. So I felt like that was, you know, like it was a big deal for me, because most of the other schools, they're just calling me, and it's like I didn't get to see anybody, and you know, but it was closer to home, and my mom didn't get a chance to see me play for like 7 years prior to that. You know what I mean? Like, she couldn't come and see me. She couldn't do anything because I was always so far. And it was like, now I got the chance to kind of be a little bit closer to home. You know, it was only 6 hours away. I know that sounds long to some people, but for Dev knows 6 hours is not that long to us. You know, just being able to be available for them, and have them available to me, I think it was a big decision. Well, it was a big part of it. And then, my bad. And then just the prestige of the school. You know what I mean? Like, just right before that, a couple years before that, they went to the NCAA tournament like 3 years in a row. You know what I mean? As a smaller school. So, you know, I kind of saw a chance to be in a winning program. And of course, you know, I went on my visit and I got to talk to Dev, and it's like, all right, I got somebody here that I know. That makes it a lot easier. You know what I mean? Now I'm a little bit more comfortable. I didn't have to go through everything by myself, because I had him there to kind of, you know, guide me through certain things and help me in that aspect. But it was just, I felt like it was the right decision as far as like comfort for me.
That's fair.
And my dad really wanted me to go there too. So
that's fair. That's fair. That's very fair. Very fair. November of that year, your first year, you're hooping, you're balling. December, not so much. Again, it's a more adversity. More adversity for you, more adversity for your career. Like you kind of talked about in the beginning of this interview, you said it wouldn't be you without adversity. Talk to us about the mindset there now. Now you're Division I athlete, and everything changes at this point. You go in there thinking you're gonna have a good season. November showed you're gonna have a good year, and then December just, you know, not so much, and then continue that way.
Man, that transition was tough, but I think it was ultimately good, because again, regardless of the playing time or not, I came into practice and kind of rekindled that grit to just prove, whether I was going to play or not, that I was good enough. You know what I mean? And like, I got the chance to take it back to, you know, being humbled. A lot of guys don't get humbled during their careers. You know what I mean? They you know, they go and play for schools, and they go somewhere to where it's like, all right, the competition may not be as good, so they're going to play 40 minutes a game. I didn't want that. I wanted that challenge to, you know, play against good guards every day and play against good guys every day. So I got humbled, and the playing time wasn't there. But I mean, I stepped into practice every day and was like, yeah, yo, like, even if the playing time's not there, this is the game for me now. I gotta, you know, keep grinding. I gotta keep working. At the end of the day, it's still basketball. I still love the game regardless, and I'm gonna work hard and improve myself. And then whatever comes after that is gonna come. But I wasn't gonna, like, a lot of people, they get in that situation, they're not playing. It's like, all right, I'm gonna tuck my tail and just roll over. But I didn't want that. You know, a lot of guys quit. A lot of guys would have went home. They probably would have done a lot of stuff, but I didn't have that mindset. I was just, you know what I mean? Like, whatever chance I do get, I'm gonna make the most of it if it comes. If it doesn't come, I know that I went in there and I played how I was supposed to. So that was really the only thing I was focused on. Fair
enough. You being a good teammate as you are, you know, we always from what I've known from you in the past month and a half, you've always been someone, you know, very easy to talk to, cool guy, cool teammates, stuff of that nature. I've never actually played with you on the same team before, but I get that vibe from you. What was some of the things that your teammates would tell you, to keep you motivated and keep you encouraged?
Some of the same things. Just stay focused. You know what I mean? Control what you can control. Dev was there to, help me through those things as well. Giving me advice, little pointers here and there, and just to get me through the time. Like, even if I knew I wasn't going to play, it was just to get me through it to where I'd still, have a good mentality going forward. Mm-hmm. So I think it was, those guys, Dev, Ray, Ahmad, Malachi, those are my boys. They helped me kind of stay focused, stay on track, and just not lose the confidence that I had.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Yeah, and I could definitely speak on that, because the first year I came to Albany, man, one of my closest friends, David Nichols, we went to prep school together. I seen him commit to Albany. Same thing, same concept. He went there, followed his trail. I went on a visit, told me about it, ended up going there. I'm think they need a wing player. So I'm like, you know what? I'm about to walk into this thing. Great. They need to play. All the guys just graduated. First game, Penn State, my parents come down. I'm thinking I'm going to at least play. I knew I wasn't going to start because I wasn't having the best start to the career. But, they come down and we play Penn State. First college game for me, NCAA. I'm thinking I'm going to play. My parents come all the way down. Didn't play a lick. We ended up winning that game. But like Reece was saying about, you get humbled. Some people don't get humbled in their situation at college. They kind of coast. And that really opened my eyes on how much this is a business now and how much more I need to improve. And, my guy that I looked to at the time was David. And I'm not sure if it was the same way exactly for Reece because, it's crazy because we touched on it earlier. That group right there, those names he named, that is a special group. Not everybody gets to experience that in college. Those group of guys, like, we could call those guys names right now and they will answer the phone and we'll be on the phone till 5 o'clock in the morning. It is that type of group. So like Albany's an animal in itself, and that's a topic for a different day, but that group is special. Like,
sure.
There's a lot of people throughout my journey and Reece's journey, of course, that, you had a chance to lean on and really talk to off the court, on the court difficulties. So I will say that.
Very well said. Very well said. That's little tough. We'll lighten up right now. So I heard that every year Albany has this is off topic of basketball completely, but every year Albany has a little, a party, a little shindig, a little 1-2. Talk to us about that, man. Talk to us about that.
At the end of every week, there was something in Dirty Albany, okay? At the end of every week, something was happening in the 518. I'll tell people this all the time. Like, I would go to Albany if I was not playing basketball, like non-athletics. And if my kids are ever shy, I'm shipping their ass over there. Because when they leave that place, they're going to have some sense of, communication and humor and things they're going to need, personal traits they're going to need for their lives. So that's a place that I would definitely send them.
Albany is, it's so crazy. Like, they used to tell me stories. Dev used to tell me stories before I went there. And in the summer when we had to go to our summer session, he was telling me, bro, watch when the year starts. You know what I mean? It's going to be crazy. And I'm sitting here like, nah, he's hyping it.
Yeah, I remember that.
And man, when I tell you, every weekend there was something going on. Every weekend. And I'm talking minus 30 degrees, up 30 degrees. It didn't matter. There's something going on, bro. And people are popping out. It was crazy. But end of the year, if anybody ever wants to go to anything in Albany, end of the year, go to Juve, bro. Around the end of May, they have like a fete, and I gotta tell you, that was probably the most fun that I've had at that school. Cause it's just you're just out there, you know what I mean, enjoying everything, enjoying the music. The festivity was just crazy. And of course it makes it even better when you're out there with your boys. You feel me? So, again, Ray, Ahmad, and Dev, luckily they were my best friends at the school and my roommates. So, it was like I got to be around good vibes all the time. But like that was crazy. But if you really do want to go somewhere, nobody ever is going to beat the 104 party that we threw. Best party of the year.
Never.
Best party of the year.
Never, man.
That was the best party of the year.
That's
we threw a party. It got shut down. Somebody ratted on us. But, man, we had a whole load of people, at least 120, 30 people in our little apartment. Going crazy.
That's what's
up. You know what I mean? No promo, no nothing. We just did it, and it just popped off. So I mean, on a serious note, Albany is great school, bro. Great vibes. The people there are mad cool, and you can expect a good time like literally every weekend.
That's sure. Good. That's what's up. So you're finally at this school now. Talk to us about the love that you regained now from you finally get the love back, you finally get the mojo back, you get everything going back again. Talk to us about, when you finally step on the court, you get the opportunity that you deserve.
Oh, man, the feeling was great, but to keep it all the way real, I didn't even care about anything else, but just to prove that I didn't lose anything. You know what I mean? I had a lot of people actually ask me and tell me, yo, you lost it, or like, yo, you're not as good as you used to be, all that type of stuff. So I'm about to quote the MJ meme. I took it personal. You know what I mean? Like, so I feel like that season was just, it was my last year. I was just focused on going there and trying to kill anybody that stepped in front of me. You know what I mean? And just to show everyone that, again, regardless of the level, I can still hoop. If you put a D1 guy in front of me, I'm going to do the same things that I'm going to do against an NAIA guy. I'm not going to. There's no difference. You know what I mean? So I'm just going to keep playing. And then, the season started, and like the first game, I was like, all right, I got my feet under me now. I'm going to get back to being who I am. And then from there, it was just like every single game, I just told myself, no prisoners.
So that first game, now speaking of no prisoners, first game, talk to us about your field goal percentage was pretty damn good, actually, very good. Talk to us about the first game and that whole season as a whole.
So the first game, we didn't really play anybody like crazy. The first game, we won by like 80, but it was just like, again, get the feel, for the court and that type of stuff, and get back into the groove. But it was after that game that I told myself, it's time to go. Like, the games are over. It's time to get back to being me. So that season, I was trying to be on a tear. And again, I told you that conference is the best conference in NAIA. You know what I mean? The number one team in the country was in my conference. They won the championship the year before that. You know what I mean? So it's like I was going up against guys that had that championship experience and stuff like that. But I ended up averaging 20 a game that year. I think I was at 5 assists a game. Shot almost 40 from the three-point line. I was like 45 from the field. So I think 89 from the free throw line. It was the first time in my career I ever shot under 90%. with obviously a significant amount of attempts. But so like, bro, I was so focused. We played crazy schedule. So I was just locked in every day, trying to get it right. So like, I ended up as a whole, that season to me was great because not that I forgot, but it kept me mentally sane in the sense that for a second I almost let other people tell me who I was as a basketball player.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that's the biggest thing too, man, is that when you lose your confidence, man, people don't understand how much that can really kill somebody in general. You know what I'm saying? Like fuck all the critics, fuck everything else. But when you personally as a basketball player lose your confidence, or any athlete in general, I don't care what it is, but like with that confidence, that word confidence, bro, yo, you like when that's lost, everything's lost.
Yeah. So like that just to like that feeling to know like, yeah, I still got that confidence. It slipped away from me really quickly at Albany, but like towards the end of the year at Albany, I started to get it back, and I started to realize, you know what I mean? Like this just happens to be a coach that doesn't see the same things that I see in myself. You know what I mean? So I just got to take it for what it is. But when I got down to Lindsey Wilson that year, I stepped into every practice. I stepped into every game with that same confidence. Like, man, I'm as good as I've worked to be. You know what I mean? Like I worked to be this good. So like, I'm not going to downplay myself. I'm going to go in there and be overly confident until somebody else humbles me again. Sure. You know what I mean? But this time I'm stepping into it with a different mindset that I'm not going to just have it given to me, but I'm going to earn it. But if you want it from me, you got to take it from me. So I think that was good. And I mean, I put up some pretty good numbers, in my last season. And I was proud of the work that I did. I ended up third all time in single season scoring.
That's so.
At 620 points in 30 games. You know what I mean? So like,
that's ridiculous.
I can't ask for more. I played my heart out, and so that's all I ever wanted to do.
Was a part of that season dedicated to the Albany coach?
The whole thing. The whole thing.
Say it with your chest.
Hey, the whole thing. The whole thing. No, let me correct myself. Every day was dedicated to him. Every single day. I promise you.
I hope he sees this, man. I hope he sees this interview.
Bro, I hope he does too. Every single day. Like especially the very beginning of the season, oh my God. I became obsessed, like, because he looked me in my eyes and told me, I don't think you're good enough to play here. You know what I mean? So and to me, I've heard people tell me you're not good enough before.
Yeah.
But that to me,
from your coach,
that to me hit differently because it was on the level that I wanted to be at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it kind of touched me in a different way. So when I got that chance to get back out there and, prove to all the critics he was at the top of the list, and I had the check mark by his name after every single game that I played, and at the end of the season, circled, crossed out, because he lit that fire into me.
Mm-hmm. My last one for you. If you played Albany, how much would you giving them?
30 guaranteed. 30 guaranteed. I promise you, on my life. 30.
Say that with your chest, man.
30 guaranteed. And that's the minimum. It's 30.
That's the minimum.
That's the minimum. It's 30.
At least 3 shots going up.
At least guaranteed. I'm telling you, and you see me, like, I'm not even that type of person to like play with, that kind of, oh yeah, I'm doing this to try and get back at him. Nah, but that coach, yeah, he's getting 30 from you for sure. 100%.
I respect it. I respect it. So now what I'd like to do is, in a perfect world, your scenario, you get to face Albany. But I'm going to give you a scenario right now. And if you're in a perfect world, I want you to finish the sentence. Now, obviously, we both know, me and Steven, that in a perfect world, you would never go to Albany again. But if you had the chance, you finished that phase 1, you have every school in the country. Who are you picking? What school are you going to, and why?
Every school in the country.
You have every school, every letter, every head coach wants you on your roster for this upcoming season. Who are you picking and why?
Man.
Hey, can I say who I think you would fit in with?
After.
Okay.
So it doesn't alter his.
Wow, that is probably the toughest question.
Yeah. I'm talking about gameplay, like a school that picks small guards, all those things that have to be considered. You have to consider all those things. Location, how many guys they bring to the league, how close is it to home, all that.
Right, every school in the country.
That's a great one.
Wow, that actually is a great question.
That's a great one.
I'm gonna be cliche here. I'm probably gonna say Duke.
Have we had a Duke? Have we had a Duke?
I don't think we've had a Duke yet. I don't think we've had a Duke yet.
Go with Duke.
And why is that, Reece? I got to hear this one because I wasn't expecting that.
In my opinion,
just because it's Duke.
No, not because it's Duke. Coach K, in my opinion, is the greatest college coach of all time.
Yes.
And one thing that I heard from him was that every year he never brings back the same coaching style to each season. Each team is different because they have different personnel. So he has to accommodate those guys to maximize those strengths. I feel like as a coach, he'll let me play basketball and emphasize my strengths on the floor.
Okay. You know who I actually thought you were gonna pick? Wichita State.
Wichita State.
I thought you were gonna pick Wichita. No, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. You shoot the fuck out of the ball. You know what I'm saying? You're a small guard. You're quick. You're gritty. You press. You know what I'm saying? You have all those intangibles to you. So what I thought, I'm like, Wichita would be perfect for you.
I can see it.
You can see it.
I can see a Wichita State too. If I was gonna go with part 2, I'd probably pick.
You know what, Reece? Let me switch up this last little bit. We're actually dealing with somebody that knows the NCAA. So I'm actually going to name some of our major conferences here, and you have to pick a school. You have to pick one school from each conference I give you, okay?
Okay.
All right. So we're going to start with Pac-12.
Pac-12.
I don't know where I'm going. Easy. I don't know where I'm going.
Arizona State.
Arizona State. Okay. Can't go wrong with them. I love what Josh Christopher is doing over there right now. And I also love Marvin Bagley's little brother. I think they will excel in the league. Let's go with SEC.
Auburn.
Wow.
Now, quick. Can I ask you, does Sharif Cooper, do you like his game?
Again, people are probably going to see this and get mad. He's the best point guard in the country.
We can argue that. Well, I don't know that yet because he's played one game. I'm not going to give that, but we could argue that over 10 games if he continues to do what he does.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, A-10.
A-10. Who's in A-10?
You got
Rhode Island.
Rhode Island. VCU.
Rhode Island.
Yeah. I love Rhode Island. You know, they had a great team when we were in college. E.C. Matthews, JT Terrell, all those guys. They're excelling in basketball. Last one, I'll give you Big Ten.
Big Ten.
Probably the top conference right now.
Big Ten. Man, that's a tough one.
Tough one.
They got a whole lot of good schools. Big Ten. I'm probably going to say Illinois.
Sorry?
I'm probably gonna say Illinois.
Illinois. Why? Why Illinois? Because besides this year, I haven't really been hearing about them. Why?
Illinois from back in the day has always been a guard-oriented school.
It has.
You know, Darren Williams, D. Brown, Luther Head. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So they focus on guards a lot. And this year, they got a lot of guards. They really just put that big man in the middle and let him just clean up, but the rest of them is all guards, you know. So I think that it would play to my strengths on the floor.
Last one, sorry, Big East.
Oh my gosh. The Big East. Oh man. I think who's in the Big East. St. John's.
St. John's. So very guard oriented. Yep.
Yeah.
I guess. Okay. All right. And last question. Wow. Did it just leave my thought? Who are you watching in the NCAA right now? 3 players.
3 players that I'm watching.
No, and can't say Sharif Cooper because obviously
Can't
you
say
already
Sharif
mentioned
Cooper.
Oh, well, damn, that's one of them. But 3 players in the Jalen Suggs, one. Luka Garza from Iowa, the big man from Iowa.
Yeah, a lot of people don't talk about him, man, because of his age. They don't want him.
And the slept on. Hey, count me in when I say it. He's going to the league.
I know what you're
Marcus Carr.
I know you're gonna say it.
Marcus Carr.
Love it.
He's going to the league for sure. Surprise of the NCAA thus far this season. He'll continue to do. The fact that Minnesota is ranked now, he deserves all of it. Mission that he's getting.
All of it. Mm-hmm. Shout out Dwayne Notice.
Mm-hmm. Shout out Notice, episode 9. That's all I got.
One thing that we always ask our guests before we end the show. Who is someone that you would recommend to get on the show? But here's the one thing though. You have to help us get him on.
Oh man. Who's one person?
You know some. And the thing is, you know some guys too. You know some guys.
Yeah, I would. They gotta be Canadian.
Anything you want, bro. They can even be European if you know European guys.
I got a couple. I got a couple people. I would probably say Rayshawn Miller and Ahmad Clark. I swear to God. Rayshawn Miller and Ahmad Clark. Two interesting stories. Both good people. Both funny guys. I think that it would be a great show.
I actually do think, and I know a little bit more about Ahmad than Rayshawn, but no, Ray would be. He'd be a good one still.
Comedy.
We might just have to have a whole Albany forum one time, to be honest with you.
We might have to. Now, all 4 of us have had different careers there, which is the crazy.
Yeah.
You're gonna, if that was ever to happen in a perfect world.
In a perfect world. There we go. There we go. Hey, Reece, man, we want to thank you again for taking some time to talk to us, tell us about your story, you know, your hardships and how you overcame them. Honestly, you got me inspired. You made me want to go outside and run in this freezing ass cold weather right now. But you know, I probably won't do it. But you know, let our people know where we can follow you, what your handles are.
Instagram is RTB.4, the number 4. That's really all I be on.
Okay.
So, you know, if you want to follow me, appreciate you guys for having me on here for sure.
Hey, anybody that's looking to you know, to hear the story firsthand from him, other than from here, hit him up on Instagram. You know, I'm sure he's a nice guy. He will hit you back. I promise you. I promise he'll hit you back.
Will. I answer my DMs. Don't worry.
Hey, Mo, definitely. One more time again. This is season 1, episode 12, featuring Reece Brooks. We appreciate your time again, and we wish you nothing but the best with everything down the line.
Yes, sir. You guys too.
Hit you up after.
Yes, sir.